Hi, this is Dong Yiling from Florida Linguistics Association. In this video, I'm going to talk about my current research on the use of interrogative words as verbs in Kavalan, an Austronesian language in Taiwan. I will present a descriptive overview of what interrogative verbs are in this language and what syntactic constructions they occur in. At the end of this video, I will also briefly discuss some research questions I have addressed regarding the syntax and semantics of interrogative verbs in Kavalan. Kavalan is an Austronesian language in Taiwan. The dialect that I investigated is spoken in Xinshi Village, Hualien County. The current Kavalan population is around 1,000, but it is estimated that there are only fewer than 100 native speakers of this language. Before I can talk about interrogative verbs, it is important to show you some basic linguistic features of Kavalan. First of all, Kavalan is a verb or predicate initial language. That is, verbs or predicates occupy the clause initial position. Secondly, the case marking pattern of Kavalan is ergative absolutive system. Like other Austronesian languages in the Philippines and in Taiwan, verbs in Kavalan take the so-called voice markers. This voice system roughly refers to the concord between the verb and the absolutive marked noun phrase in terms of the thematic role that an absolutive noun phrase plays. When a verb takes an agent voice marker, the absolutive noun phrase is usually an agent or experiencer, whereas a patient or theme argument takes a oblique case marker. For example, the verb in one takes m, an agent voice marker, and the agent argument of this verb, soon in school, my child, takes the absolutive case marker ya. Sentence 2 exhibits a similar pattern, except that there is an oblique patient argument, duwasu, a dog. When a verb takes a patient voice marker, the absolutive noun phrase is interpreted as a patient or a theme argument, whereas an agent or experiencer argument takes the ergative case marker. For example, in 3, the verb danus, chase, is suffixed with an, the patient voice marker. The ergative noun phrase natulek gayau is the agent, while the absolutive noun phrase yawasu anai, the dog, is the patient argument of the verb. It should be noted that only verbs can take voice markers. Nonverbal predicates cannot take voice markers. In other words, the affixation of voice markers is a morphological property unique to verbs in Kavalan. This slide summarizes the morphosyntactic properties of verbs, or verbal predicates in Kavalan. Verbs occur in the sentence initial position, take tense and aspect markers, and can attract pronominal clitics. More importantly, verbs, and only verbs, can take voice affixes. Now let's take a look at the interrogative words in 4 to 6. They all exhibit the morphosyntactic properties of a verb. They have the same morphosyntactic distribution as a verb. Not only do they occur in the sentence initial position and take tense aspect or pronominal markers, but they are also affixed with a voice marker, which is a crucial diagnostic of verbhood in Kavalan. The interrogative word in 4, goni, takes the agent voice marker The interrogative verbs in 5 and 6, that is danyan and nakoni, take the patient voice marker an. Moreover, in 4 and 5, there is no lexical verb that denotes do or put. The interrogative words that I just presented exhibit the morphosyntactic properties of a verb. That is, they are all what Hogek calls an interrogative verb. That is, a kind of word which both functions as predicates and questions the semantic content of this predicate. Although the use of interrogative words as verbs seems to be a common linguistic feature shared by many Austronesian languages, it is typologically unusual. Except for Hogek's typological study in 2008, there is still no systematic analysis of the morphology, syntax, and semantics of interrogative verbs. It is thus worthwhile to investigate the morphosyntactic properties of interrogative verbs in Kavalan and explore the theoretical and typological implications of this unique question formation strategy. Here are some issues that interrogative verbs raise. First of all, Which interrogative words can and cannot be used as a verb? Secondly, what morphosyntactic constructions are interrogative verbs used in? Third, what are the syntactic and semantic properties of interrogative verbs? Fourth, are there any constraints on the use of interrogative verbs? Fifth, how are interrogative verbs derived? In this video, I will focus on the first two issues only. In Kavalan, the interrogative words that can be used as a verb denote the following concepts: what, how, where, and how many. There are specific syntactic and semantic constraints on the notions that Kavalan interrogative verbs can inquire about. However, for the sake of simplicity, I won't talk about them in this video. Interested viewers can refer to my papers on fluidlinguistics.com. Interrogative verbs in Kavalan can occur in three syntactic constructions: intransitive, transitive, and verb sequencing constructions. Interrogative verbs can be used as intransitive or transitive verbs. If an interrogative verb is affixed with an agent voice marker, it is interpreted as an intransitive verb. For example, the interrogative verb in 7 is agent voice marked, and it is used as an intransitive verb, meaning do what. By contrast, an interrogative verb that takes the patient voice marker on is interpreted as a transitive verb. For example, unlike its counterpart in 7, only do what in 8 takes the patient voice marker and it is interpreted as do what to somebody or something, not just do what. In other words, the patient voice variant of "goni do what" must take an absolutive theme noun phrase. The same pattern can be observed in 9, where "danian" where takes the patient voice marker and is interpreted as put where, not just be where. Interrogative verbs in Kavalan can also occur in a verb sequencing construction. I refer to this particular construction as interrogative verb sequencing construction, or IVSC. In this construction, an interrogative verb is followed by a lexical verb. For example, in 10, "nagoni" do how is followed by a lexical verb, "mgala" find. In 11, "danian" where is followed by "manubi" hide. Note that despite the occurrence of a lexical verb, the interrogative word in this construction is still a verb because it takes the patient voice marker on. The use of interrogative words as verbs in Kavalan raises some interesting research issues. Here are some of the issues that I have addressed. The first concerns the syntactic and semantic properties of interrogative verbs. I have also investigated the syntactic and semantic constraints on the use of interrogative verbs. The third issue is the syntactic derivation of interrogative verbs. The use of interrogative verbs in an interrogative verb sequencing construction is also interesting. Since there are two verbs, we may wonder which one of them is the main verb. What is the syntactic relationship between the two verbs? Is it conjunction or subordination? If it is subordination, is it complementation or adjunction? What syntactic operations are involved in the derivation of this type of construction? For example, raising or control. I have addressed these issues in various conference presentations and journal articles. You can find some of my handouts, proceedings papers, or journal articles on our website, fluidlinguistics.com. And here are the references that I cited in the slides for this presentation. Finally, I would like to thank Dr. Li Mei-song for her financial support for my fieldwork. I am also grateful to my consultants, Abbas, Muya, and Ngengi, for sharing their language with me. Thank Dr. Eric Postum, Dr. Brent Henderson, Dr. Felicia Lee, and Dr. Galia Hatov for their comments and suggestions for my research. Finally, thank my fellow FLA members for editing this video. For more linguistics videos, please visit our website, fluidlinguistics.com, or check out our YouTube channel. Thank you.